most uneducated educational program on the internet today. Let's go! Hi, howdy. Welcome back to Orthodox Review, the most uneducated educational program here on the internet today. I'm your host, the guy with 1.5 thumbs, Raphael. I'm so very, very pleased if you could join us today. First and foremost, before the shilling even, thank you so much for everyone who has been supporting me and the show and everything we do here through your generous contributions. I've got a full tummy. Thank you. If you like what's happening here, if you like what we're doing with the show and you want to support us in some way, there are links below for Patreon, PayPal tip jar, and the absolute coziest Discord server on Discord. It's ours, and it's so cozy. It's so cool. It's devoid of the ortho bro thing. It's just, we be vibing, okay? So check those links out below. There'll also be links below for the books that we go over in the show today, as we do with every episode. So with that out of the way, there's been several updates, reissues, reprints of some prayer books in recent years, and very, very recently, in fact. And in the next episode, hopefully, I will have that sweet, sweet new spiritual psalter in hand. They are shipping now. But I figured we'd go over a couple, because when we did the most recent episode on the Jordanville, and much like the previous Jordanville episode we did when they first reprinted it, one of the things we spoke about was the fact that the paper that they were using was different, okay? So a lot of these printers have started printing with like a really, really white paper, okay? And at first I was a little bummed out about that, because I, like many people, was used to the kind of off-white top, sort of not as a in-your-face sort of white pages that some of the older books had. Meanwhile, some older books were just white anyway. Then I was looking around on like Etsy and St. Elizabeth's website in particular, over there in Minsk, and the prayer books that are offered in other countries. And they're all white, just white paper. I mean, beautifully bound books, the typeset is gorgeous, but it's white paper. So I'm like, I have to get over it a little bit. But that doesn't mean we can't nitpick. So, a couple of things I want to go over as far as new editions, okay? So the first thing I want to talk about is these three. And actually, I didn't take the back off this one yet. I like saving these things. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. We'll get there eventually, Captain, I swear! I totally didn't just rip the binding. So anyway, these three from St. Ignatius Orthodox Press. Why didn't they? I just noticed something. So on these two, you've got St. Ignatius logo on the back. Prayers of the Desert, not so much. But anyway, these are three previously saddle-stitched, read that, staple-bound books that were available for maybe $5 or so several years ago from St. Ignatius, that being Legacy Icons, have been updated to these beautiful hardbound variations, which are $10 a piece and worth every penny. Now, not much has been added to any of these, aside from the fact that they're just really well printed and bound, and extremely legible in 2 colors. The Didache, in particular, though, is cool because they added the Liturgy of St. James, so that's nice. And Prayers of the Desert, this is one that I actually recommend to a lot of people to begin with, because it's the rule of the 12 Psalms that you usually find in Psalter for Prayer, St. Tikhon Psalter. So it's, but of course, this came out in between those two. And it's just, it's a great supplemental prayer roll to add to your day. But with these, you see that they use kind of that, like, not quite white paper, and that's cool. And also, in addition to that, when they updated their prayer book, they added the rule of the 12 Psalms to it. And it only adds a few pages, but I gotta say, the printing, and I will just show you the table of contents, for example. The printing is still solid and very legible. And yes, this is the traditional English version. So links for those will be down below. But the one that really kind of I was surprised about, I'm not entirely disappointed or thrilled about, was the reprint of the Greek prayer book, the one from Hellenic College, Holy Cross up there in Baston. This is the OG, which has been printed numerous times from, it was originally printed in 87, 86. And as you can see, this textured leather-esh cover, it's like that vinyl sort of, vinyl paper textured, it's got a great texture to it. And the paper, though white, is not like brilliantly white. And so, I think I covered this in like the first year or so of the show. And I noticed that, when I was just shopping around one day, several years ago, mind you, and I realized, oh, they changed the cover to red. I'm going to pick one up just to be a completionist one of these days. And so I never really justified spending the money on it until recently, when I happened to have a few bucks and I was like, oh, I could get another book in here. And so I ordered one just because, like, I like the texture and everything, but it's like, oh, red variant, cool. And so what I got was this. I was shocked, honestly. It doesn't have a code or a printed page or anything that says it's print on demand, but this is like Lulu quality print on demand. It's that like satin feeling cover, blindingly white pages, okay? But aside from that, there is only one other difference in the book, and that is in the credits page. In the original blue, it says 1986, updated and reprinted 2010. This only claims updated in 2007, but there's your little tidbit for the day. The same page numbering and count, although I think there's maybe one extra title page in the blue edition. I just find that very interesting because, like, again, this is nitpicking, okay? But for some odd reason, I like the blue one a little better. There's nothing wrong with the red one, but they just don't make the blue one anymore. And this is, I think they're both the same price. I think this was like $20. Whatever. It is what it is. So, all that to say is, I'm personally torn, and I would love to get your feedback on the whole print-on-demand ultra-white paper thing. Because, I think it's awesome that we live in an age where we can just, upload whatever we want onto Lulu or Amazon direct printing or whatever and just get stuff printed, and it's great, and it's out there. But just the idea of, like, everything being inkjet, blindingly white paper with these, there's little things about the older books, like the textured vinyl paper, the slight dimness of a just barely, not quite white page. And I don't think the quality is really any different. It's just I don't know. Maybe am I a boomer now? Am I getting nitpicky over nothing? I don't know. I'm just glad these books are out there, and I want you to benefit from these books, which is why we are going to do what we can to make sure that everyone gets a prayer book somehow that they will use. If you cannot afford a prayer book, if you can't afford a prayer book, reach out. get into our Discord. We'll get you a prayer book. We'll figure something out. If whether it's a PDF that you can print off, or it's a hard copy that you can hide because you're under persecution, whatever it is, we're going to make sure you get a prayer book somehow, some way. I'm writing checks with my mouth that my ass cannot cash at this point. If that's okay, that's what we do here. So yeah, this is pretty much a stopgap until we get to the spiritual Psalter. But that being said, I highly recommend going in and checking out some of these newer editions. Maybe your copy is old and ratty. Maybe you've been waiting on adding one of these to your collection. Now's a good time to do it, because with the tariffs and embargoes and everything, a lot of the stuff that's printed in China is probably either going to significantly increase in price, or there might be a slight increase from printing domestically. Don't know how these things are going to pan out. It's part of the reason I stockpile these books, is because you never know when it's going to go down and when we might have to go back underground. It's always a possibility. So making sure that we have the resources to share prayers with each other and just try to practice some sort of rule of prayer is important. Whether we are consistent or not, whether we struggle or not. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this little snippet. The good stuff's coming next week, God willing. At any rate, okay, so on behalf of Patches, the One-Eyed Murder Cat, and myself, thank you so much for stopping by and listening to the ramblings of a weird old middle-aged man. And thank you again for everything. Don't forget to go to church, say your prayers, and remember God. God bless.